If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at. Because you graveyard.
All right, guys, it's old school Will again. I came across this Florida sheriff, and I'm more than sure that some of you probably already seen it, who decided to get on his podium and threaten a lot of protesters. Now, as far as most of you probably already know, old school has been a deputy sheriff, constable, supervisor, captain, lieutenant, sergeant, all that good stuff in my 4 decades of being a police officer. What this guy said as far as being a #1 person in the department, the sheriff, really ticks me off to no end. I realize being a cop, as most people call us, a lot of people don't respect us. But when they get in trouble, we're the first person they call, or maybe the second. This sheriff, I don't know how this guy's got 4 stars on his collar. Because you don't go out there and threaten people to exterminate them or delete them, graveyard blank. I have to watch my words I use because of the YouTube guidelines. I'm not going to say shocked. I'm not shocked anymore with what's going on today and all of these people that feel that because certain individuals in charge, they can come out and say what in the heck they want to say now with no kind of repercussion or being, what's that word, get out of jail free card by a certain individual. That was wrong. That was wrong. I was proud of the other female sheriff from my state of Texas here who got out and advised how things were going to be done. You're going to see the difference between the two. Folks, this is what you're voting for. These are the people you are putting in office. And it seems like most of you don't care about who you put in office until it personally affects you. How can you, as a #1 sheriff, get on the news media and say you're going to sick the dogs on people? That was a flashback within itself for me back into the civil rights era of the 60s, which I lived through. And to exterminate a person, graveyard blank. We are trained, at least most of us, of how to act, defend ourselves, defend the community. We are trained in doing all of this stuff. We are trained to be able to take the abuse that people throw at us, with whether they're bad words or whatever words they want to throw at us. We're trained for all of that. But if I lived in Florida right now, I would definitely be scared because of this individual who's in charge, who talks like this. I'm not going to comment because I'm doing all my commenting now. I'm not going to comment through the video. It's only 2 clips, maybe 3. I can't remember. Feel a little blood pressure going up again on old school here. But if you look over my right and left shoulder, you see You see the badges old school held within the time that he's been out there in the streets, which to be exact was 42 years. And I have never, ever heard a top leader in a police department talk like this guy just did. I'm offended. I'm totally offended. So whoever voted this guy in office, y'all might want to think twice when election day comes up for this individual. This is scary because he mimics what his rest of his department is like. If his attitude is like this, you can imagine how the guys and ladies out on the streets' attitude may be toward the people they come in contact with. And there's no shame in his game. He got out there and he told it like it was. He didn't mince words. Oh, Lord help us all, because we're going to need it. We definitely need it. So with all that being said, I'm going to let you see the videos for yourself. Most of you, like I said, you probably already seen them, but you determine if you want this person to stay in office. I know a lot of you probably say, oh yeah, go ahead, man. That's what we need nowadays. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Until you get pulled over and that same person that you're cheering on is the one that just pulled you over. And I guarantee you his demeanor is totally different from what you expect it to be. Because his boss says it's okay to jerk you out that car, demean you, throw you on the ground, just like we just had a senator done like that, handcuff you, and do it because they know they can get away with it. This is a sad situation we're living through right now, folks. But for those of you, as I stated, who think this is okay, it won't be okay until it happens to you. But as long as it's happening to other folks, hey, you have no problems with it whatsoever. And there's going to come a time you're going to see those blue and red lights or whatever color lights you're using come on behind you, and then you're going to think, what have I gotten myself into? Because nobody's exempt. All right. You guys try to stay blessed out there and try to live through the tides of this. We're going to all get through this. In this country, we always do. With all that being said, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and watch these videos. You guys stay blessed.
A lot of you have seen that video where that Florida man warned protesters they'd be graveyard dead if they showed up and messed with him. Let's see how they do it in Texas.
So this is the thing. You have to have a philosophy as a leader when you're dealing with issues like this. And this is a big deal. It has to be reasonable. So I'm looking at 4 philosophies that I have here with these protests. Reasonable. It's restricting the fewest freedoms possible. I want people to protest. I will be there with you. I will facilitate that as best I can. Peaceful protest and peaceful assembly. Disarming. Limiting the use of force, the coercion, and intrusiveness. I don't want officers to have to make arrests. I don't want officers to use force. Focused. We target only harmful behaviors and conditions. So the goal is, within a crowd, agitators are really good at hiding behind people that are there to peacefully assemble. And what they do is they'll create this chaos. We're going to have targeted enforcement into those people and remove them from the protest and allow this protest to continue on. That's the goal. And then consistent. Deploying predictable and unbiased tactics. That is our goal, and that's what we will do.
Well, folks, unfortunately, I have one of the most disturbing clips that I've seen in a while to share with y'all today, but I think it's very important that we take a look at it and see it for what it is, because when I first saw it, I said to myself, my initial reaction was, this is exactly what Donald Trump ushered in. This type of rhetoric is exactly what he has tried to normalize and make okay in this country, and we can never do that. We have got to call it out for the insanity that he truly is. This is a sheriff down in Florida by the name of Wayne Ivey. This guy should turn in his badge today, and he should never be behind any desk with any position of power again. He shouldn't be allowed to make any decision for anyone ever again based off of this unbelievable statement that he just comes right out and says. He's literally threatening to kill protesters, and it gets pretty graphic. He just goes for it. Take a look.
I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
You know, I'm sure a lot of you were thinking the same thing that I was thinking as you watched that, which was, how in the hell did we get here? Well, I'll tell you how we got here. We got here thanks to Donald J. Trump. He is the one who paved the way for every bit of this. There are two types of people in this world at this point that would watch that video. One is the people like us who is going to watch it for the insanity that it is and say that that guy should never be allowed to wear a badge ever again. And then there's people who will sit back and flex as though they're watching the WWE or Jerry Springer. That's what we're up against. But Donald Trump paved the way for that kind of rhetoric, and more people are going to come out and think that that's okay, and we can never normalize moments like that. We can never sit and try to same wash things like that. And it's not just Donald Trump. He paved the way for it with his grifting. But all the other grifters got in on the act too. The mainstream media realized, you know what, we can get in on this grift too. And so you will have Fox News who will spin that too. Yeah, that's what we need more of. We need more people to stand up and say what that guy was saying. And then you will have other mainstream media networks who won't even cover that story. Or if they do, they will find a way to just water it down in a manner, you know, Florida sheriff gets a little spicy. No, Florida sheriff should be banned from ever being near a police office ever again in his life. That is not the guy that you want watching over your community. Look, we all will say that violent protesters should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. We all say that. We've heard Governor Gavin Newsom say several times, if you break the law, you will be punished. But he didn't.